Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshekar, and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, in these episodes, we talk to you about emerging companies from emerging sectors. And in this process, we talk to the promoters of such companies. We make it a point to talk to the promoters about their company's business model, their growth journey, their business plans. And in this process, we are able to get a lot of valuable information about the company from the company's promoters. And friends, today we have got a very interesting company which is already listed on the capital markets. The company's name today is Inspire Films Limited, and we have the privilege and pleasure of having the founder and managing director, Mr. Yash Patnaik ji. Yash ji, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time with us today. I'm pretty sure that in this small interaction, Yash ji, we'll be able to understand the company's operations in a much better manner, which will help all our viewers.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, so yes, ji, first question to ask would be that if you could tell us what is the business model of our company. I believe we've got three divisions. So if you could just tell us what is the main business which division does for us, and secondly, what is the kind of positioning now which Inspire Films enjoys in the domestic market. If you could share your thoughts. And a related question, yes, ji, would be that if you could share with us your entrepreneurial journey. How did this journey start before you started Inspire Films? So, that would also help us understand your profile better. So, please, if you can start.
Thank you, Avinash. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here. The journey started after my graduation, and I did my mass communication from Symbiosis Pune, 96. And I started out as a journalist and cartoonist way back then. And that's actually the time when the general entertainment channel, GC, the private entertainment channel, had just started. Z was hardly a couple of years old, and Sony was yet to start. Star Plus was yet to start. Colors came much later, so and so on. So, being a first generation entrepreneur, I'm from a family of authors and novelists and linguists. So, storytelling was always very exciting for me. Creating characters, meeting people, and telling their stories, and creating stories around emotions and relationships was always very exciting for me. And I travel a lot. I meet a lot of people, and that is what I think I have used as my investment towards the journey that we actually ventured out into. After working for some of the leading broadcasters like Z and Hinduja's company, in 2000, I joined a company called Fireworks Productions, where I joined as executive producer, and we created a show that point of time called CID. So I was spearheading CID and Ahad, two of the biggest thrillers of that time, and both the shows were on Sony. And around 2006 end, we thought, okay, I wanted to move out of a particular special genre and create a much larger spectrum for storytelling. That's how we started. Me and my wife, Mamta was already an established writer, and I was also established executive of the industry. And so we started a first company called Beyond Dreams. And in Beyond Dreams, we signed up with some leading broadcasters that point of time and produced some content. In 2012 was a very interesting year for us, where we got two of our significant projects. One was Ek Veer Ki Ardas Veera, and then the second one was Sada Haq. And that is where actually Inspire Films started its journey. So we created a subsidiary of Beyond Dreams called Inspire Films Private Limited at that point of time.
Okay.
And since then, we created over 40 odd originals in television and OTTs, and
Okay.
cumulatively more than 6,500 episodes of fiction, which puts us as one of the premier players as storytellers in television space to start with.
Yeah.
Uh, so some of her prominent projects have been Ek Veer Ki Ardas Veera on Star Plus, Sada Haq on Channel B, Kuch Rang Pyar Ke Aise Bhi on Sony, Ishq Mein Mar Jawan on Colors, and many more. So that has been a journey, and eventually in 2022 we started uh, because that was the time the industry was growing even faster. Uh, OTT platforms had just started. You had a Netflix already in the horizon. Amazon Prime was in the horizon. Hotstar was there. Sony Leaf started. So we got into a much larger network of storytelling, and that's where we realized we have to take the company one notch forward, and that's how the thought of getting listed came, and that's now we're here for tell stories and entertain people.
Yeah. Well, I think very nicely articulated, Yes Ji. Now, Yes Ji, tell us something like, we have the web TV series division, we have got the OTT, the digital business, and of course, regional content. Now, within all these three segments, if you could tell us, which is the most dominant, segment which currently is important for us. Like, obviously, all of them are important, but in terms of the revenue contribution, just a broad idea. If you could tell us, what is the contribution of the TV series division, the OTT content and the regional content. And going forward, another question to this is, how do you see the opportunity for growth in all these three segments, for Inspire Facts?
So, television has been our mainstay for a while. That's what we have been doing traditionally. And we have primarily worked in television. And so, television has been one of the biggest component of our revenue. Since last 2 years, OTT has kicked in well for us. 2022-23 OTT was dominant after television, after Hindi entertainment television. Regional, we keep doing as something excites us. Though in terms of numbers, percentage, regional has not been that big for us by choice. We have been focusing more on national content. Yeah, the interest is there because there are a lot of stories, regional stories that has to be told, because regional is global now. So that is something that we will explore more. But
Yeah.
right now, as we are talking, television has been the biggest component, followed by OTT, and yeah, so that has been the primary contributors to our revenue.
Okay. Yes, now one related question is that we have been very strong on the television content. OTT has also been one of our major revenue drivers. Now, what is the level of concentration in this segment? Like, are we largely concentrated, or do we have a diverse set of clients here within all these segments, which actually reduces the concentration risk? If you could just tell us in a very broad way, on the concentration side, are we very well dispersed across clients in the TV series, in the OTT content? Regional content, as you mentioned, is little small, but within, say, OTT and the television series, do we have a diverse set of clients which helps us, reduce the concentration risk?
Yeah, so television, we work for all leading broadcasters, whether it's a Star, Sony, Z, Colors, or Dangal, Shemaru. I think all the leading players we have been working with, we have been repeat customers for all of them. If you look at Star, has the biggest pie in the market, so, and we have produced a lot of content for Star. We must have produced more than 5,000 episodes of fiction for Star. Then Sony and Colors are also strong components, and apart from them, all other broadcasters. In the OTT space, we have been working with again some of the biggest players, whether it's Hotstar, whether it's Sony Live, MX Player, uh, Amazon. So all the top players, you can say, almost all top players we have been working with. So we are quite well spread in terms of our reach and clientele in terms of OTT as well as broadcasters. And yeah, that's exciting time for us with the
Yeah.
industry growing, the audience is growing. Yeah, it's we are well placed with the best of the players in the business.
No, I think very nice to know, Yasji. Now, Yasji, on a macro side, if I were to ask you, since you have been in the industry for such a long time, what is the kind of opportunity for content, in the overall, kind of media space? If you talk about TV series, OTTs, now the market is exploding. There are many new formats which are also coming in. According to you, over the next say 3 to 4 years, what is the kind of opportunity which we see for content, players like Inspire Films, and how does the company plan to capitalize on this? Like obviously, channels also want little freshness on their channels. The OTT business is also growing. So in that perspective, if you could share your thoughts, like in the next 3 4 years, what kind of growth do you think Inspire Films can capitalize and grow?
So, if we talk about the prime segments of content, broadcasting and OTT, broadcasting has been the biggest pie in the business. More than 37% of the total world, and with a CAGR of 7.5%. Whereas OTT is the fastest growing with close to 27% CAGR, which is very obvious with the kind of growth OTT has seen in 2020. I think pandemic was a turning point for OTT content consumption, uh, and with the 5Gs and the advancement of smartphones, there's a lot of consumption that is happening through smaller devices. Earlier, which was more of a stationary devices like television sets. You have the
Exactly.
one TV, two TV families, and now you have five handset families.
Correct.
So and people have more time. They are consuming more content. The quality of content and the demand of content has increased because of that. Unlike television, where you have a limited number of slots, starting from a six o'clock to it goes up to 11 o'clock. A channel can have say 10 programs in a day. But OTT, there's no limit to it. The more subscribers they have, and there's also a new segment that is emerging, which is between OTT and television, and it is called TV Plus or TV Plus Plus.
Okay.
Whereas the longer forms of content are now being made on OTTs. So OTT is also divided into two primary segments: SVOD and AVOD. SVOD is subscriber-based platforms, and AVOD is advertiser-based. If I have to give you an example, Netflix is a SVOD, Sony Live is a SVOD, Hotstar has both SVOD and AVOD, and Amazon Mini is a AVOD. So where longer forms of content are coming. So for production houses like Inspire, which is already doing content across television and OTT. So this segment is also very exciting for us, because this segment is going to be here, and we are one of the very few production houses in this business who have produced already two TV plus plus, and as we are talking, we have a few more.
Okay. So I think very nicely articulated again, Yasji. Now, Yasji, tell me one thing. The content industry, everyone is aware that there is a fair amount of competition. The competitive intensity is very high. Now, tell me one thing, like, apart from the financial numbers, I would like to know in qualitative, assessment terms, what is so special about Inspire Films? Is it our content? Is it our execution? Is it our relationship with the TV channels, the producers, the writers? If you could tell us two, three qualitative points which would help us understand your company's competitive moat in a much better manner. So if you could share your thoughts on these points.
So, as a company, we have always stayed away from following the trend, and following also the success trend that we have created. So, we are one of the very few production houses, you can say, which has produced content across drama, thrillers, youth, romance, supernatural, fantasy, and we have done well across all mediums. Uh, so that is one, and we believe in innovating our content always, because audience is changing. There are audience like every 3 years there's a new generation of audience that keeps coming.
Yeah.
So, and they have exposure to the world. We what we deliver is innovative content, new ideas, and we, because we work across television and OTT, that keeps our presentations unique and refreshing for the audience as well as the clients.
Okay. Okay. So basically, your main USP is the innovation part, which is I think very important. And you try to bring.
Innovation. We create great characters. Most of our
Yeah,
characters have been selected as characters India love, and we are known for high production value, good casting, apart from good narrative. We
yeah,
happen to be the first or one of the first companies to set up a writers room way back in
yeah.
2012. So
Oh,
that is a concept that is new at that point of time. So
okay,
we had some of the best novelists, journalists, copywriters, and created our writers room. The
okay,
first batch of writers that we developed are named Durjay Datta, who is right now one of the biggest novelists in India, a high-selling novelist. Sumrit Sahi, Novanil Chakravarti, Sudhir Nagarkar. So some of the best writers in today's time, they have started the journey here and they have worked for years with us. So
okay,
our writing room is something that we put a lot of value. We have a lot of book rights with us.
okay,
We have a lot of life rights with us. So which are now we have already produced one book right with Hotstar that was based on a best-selling novel called "Write Me a Love Story" by Ravinder Singh, and the show name was Dear Ishq, which did extremely well for Hotstar. It was among the top five most viewed digital content in India across all platforms. So yeah, the innovation with new talent, good writers, good production value. It's a combination of you make a curry, so the curry has to taste in all aspects, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think nice example, SG. Now, SG, tell me one thing. Normally, how much time does it take, for a new content web series to get finalized? For example, you work with almost all the leading TV channels. So typically, what's the timeline? Before the story is created, you create the characters. I just wanted to understand what's the normal timeline before a new web series actually goes onto the floor and you start your production work. And second important question is, now you talk to so many web channels, OTTs. Now, what are the broad expectation of customers, from you as a company?
So we because we have a writers room, as I told you, we develop multiple projects and we develop a detailed bible of every project. Considering the platforms that we have in front of us and the kind of content they're looking at, the kind of audience they have.
Okay,
Also, at times we get a request from platform. Okay, we need a romance, mature romance. So we know a mature romance means what is the age group for that, and what is the back, whether it is set against the heartland India or the urban India. So we develop them as per the need of the platform and their audience profile.
okay,
It traditionally takes around 3 to 6 months to develop a story, the world, the characters, the conflicts. Then we go to the platform, pitch it, and once the pitching happens, it takes 2 to 3 months time for approval. Then it gets into paperwork and production.
okay. Understood. Yes, Ji, now coming to the financials, I think FY24 first half has seen a very strong growth. Top line has improved to almost 21 crores from 13 crores, so very good. Profit after tax also I was seeing, it has increased from 70 lakhs to 1.44 crores. First of all, I just wanted to understand, what have been the key reasons for this dramatic and sharp improvement? It's really commendable. Profits have doubled, top line has also increased significantly. And since now the financial year FY24 has already got concluded, see, I would like to ask you for the coming year, that is for the current year, again without putting any number. What are the kind of signals you are getting? Like, once elections are over, hopefully, business will start, percolating quite positively. But then, what is the signal you are getting? Will FY25 be a similar strong year for us in terms of top line growth, in terms of margin improvement? If you could just share your thoughts, without numbers, giving us a qualitative feel.
See, as we mentioned over the first 2 quarters of the previous year, the growth has been primarily propelled by a number of projects we did. There are close to 5 projects we did, a combination of television and OTTs. Sheer numbers came from the number of projects that we did. We had a show on Hotstar, on MX Player, on Dangal, on Shemaru. So those are the contributing factors. Also, we that's the time we actually initiated our very interesting segment, that is licensing and distribution. So that also kicked in around that time. Yeah, those are the factors. Sheer numbers of projects reflected in numbers that you are talking about, we have reported.
Okay.
Going forward, uh, suddenly the market has opened in a very massive way. We are all aware of a lot of mergers, demergers were happening across the market, and now the dust has settled, and so opportunities have grown. We are sitting on a robust pipeline. Very exciting times ahead for us. 25 is looking exciting, and both in terms of the sheer quality of content that we are going to deliver, and the opportunity that we have got from the old clients as well as new clients. So we have added some new clients. So yeah,
Okay.
the year 25 is looking definitely very exciting for us.
Okay. So I think nice to hear, yes, Ji. Now, yes, Ji, one related question is, we have just, got to know from the exchange notification that, the company has won a very large OTT kind of contract, for something like 20 episodes, and which is going to be commissioned in FY25. So, if we could get some broader details about this, series, like, is it going to be a different genre? And what is the kind of opportunity you see here? Because in terms of the opportunity, markets are quite excited. They feel that this business which you've got is going to be a significant one. So again, without putting numbers, if you could just tell us whatever you can share with us on this contract, because investors are very keen to know how this will help the company going forward.
So, see, the industry that we work on, platforms, they like to do the announcements on their own for the projects. But I can tell you this. So this project is with one of the largest international platforms with India presence, and this is a new chapter that we have opened with them. This is a new client for us, and very large client. And this subject is uh, it's a youth space. It's romance. It has a drama based on a very popular novel. That's I think what I can right now say. I wish. See, I think this is very exciting, and we as producers, as content creators, the excitement comes from the opportunity to tell stories, because we touch so many people's lives. When we release a show, it reaches out to more than 250 million people, and it is seen in more than 60 to 70 countries. Yes, I think the content that we are talking about from OTT platform is a very important milestone for us, and yeah, we are looking forward to that as well as many others.
Okay, I think nice to know. Just now on the broader working capital cycle of the business, if you could tell us, normally right from the time you get the, content agreement with the TV producer or maybe the OTT players, are payments on a milestone basis, like whatever episodes you complete, you get your payments. If you could tell us what is the broad working capital cycle in our business like?
So, Avinashi, we generally we work in a certain payment cycles, and it varies from say 45 days to 90 days. And there's an investment that goes even before the 45-day cycle starts, like the development and all. We get the support of development fund from the platforms as well. So there is a skin in the game from their end as well, and they're secured business, because unlike feature films where you're putting the money and you're waiting for a Friday to work for you, or
Exactly.
if your surprise is here we work on a 100% secured business formula. So
Okay.
we develop our content. There's a definitely an investment, but that's a very minor investment in terms of return.
Yeah.
Um, but once I'll give you an example. So we develop content, we produce them. The working capital traditionally is around 25% of your revenue.
Okay.
Seed capital is very minuscule, but the working capital is around 25% because of the credit period that we give. to the clients, and then it goes into a cycle. We have two payment cycles every month
Okay.
on television. So there's
Okay.
a regular flow of money coming in,
Okay.
so
Okay.
so that's how we retain the workforce with the talent that we develop or we condition.
Okay.
We retain them, so and they help us getting new projects as well. So
Okay.
25%, you can roughly say 20 to 25% is the amount investment that goes towards working capital.
Okay. And yes, Jit, typically, when you enter a new contract, I mean, this business is very intensive. I know that, but I'm saying, considering the kind of quality content we generate, the kind of success we have delivered for most of the TV channels, normally, what is the kind of price increase which we get? Like typically, 5 years back and today, if you even look at inflation, obviously pricing has increased across all costs. So typically, is the pricing negotiated on a customized basis, like, obviously looking at the content, the character, obviously the channel relationship, are all these factors responsible for getting a better pricing deal? Because finally that is what drives your top line and profitability, because the efforts are 100%, but in terms of pricing, what exactly goes behind this variable?
So pricing is primarily dependent, as you rightly said, Avinash. It depends on the content. A period piece will get more money. Fantasy will get more money.
Okay.
A drama or bigger cast show will get more
Ah,
money. So yeah, it is like content decides the cost. You know.
okay, okay. And I think very rightly said, because this business is a very competitive. But as you rightly mentioned, if you have got the right content and the right formula, then I think obviously pricing is not a problem. You have the winning formula that is more than sufficient for getting a good pricing deal. Now tell me one thing, SG, one related question. Now, we have already got listed. Typically, this is now post IPO what we are talking. What is the broad level of message which you would like to give to our investors who have already come in the company? Like obviously everybody has seen the financials, they know the category, they know the positioning of the company. Now, over the next say 2 to 3 years, what is your thought process? How would you reward these shareholders who would be also participating in your growth story? If you could just share your thoughts.
So we are looking at we have taken some very solid steps to increase the numbers and ROI for the investors. One of the step is we believe that this is a time where you have to get more talent under you. So we have already got a production house as a co-producer and line producers with us. That is already we have already announced that through NSE. Apart from that, we have also initiated our journey in licensing and sub-licensing and distribution of third-party content. So that is
Okay.
an additional revenue stream for us. The best part of licensing and sub-licensing or distribution is the timeline. It's a trading. You understand content, the need of a platform or channel, and then you understand who has what content.
Okay.
So we understand the demand, and we know where the supply is, and
Okay.
we use the creative lensing for the content to be bought or sold, and this gives a very interesting margin for us. And this sky is the limit, as you say, with so many platforms and so much of need for content. Right distribution through the eyes of a strategical creative interpretation is one key factor which is helping us to not only enter the distribution market, but as well we are quite bullish about it going forward.
I think very nice to know. So I think we do hope that all these initiatives will actually generate a lot of value for the shareholders. Yes, the last question for today, which is also very important. Tell me one thing. What is the normal risk in our business? Like typically, one question which I left out is that when you say two payment cycles in a month, like up till now, have there been any delays in payments from your any customers, or payments do come on time? That is point number one. And secondly, broadly, what is the main risk in our business? Is it execution? Time पे serial बनाना है, execution करना है, content deliver करना है. So is this the main risk, or any other risk which you think is there in our business, and how have we managed to mitigate this risk so successfully? If you could please share your thoughts.
So I think again, because we are in content business, it is always bespoke. You know, the demands, the trends will keep changing. So we have to be on the top of the game in terms of innovation. We apply a very scientific method to select our content. We gut is good, gut feeling is good about something, but we also explore insights. uh,
Exactly.
so insights, what is that is affecting or that is influencing our life, our relationships. So we keep innovating in the space. I think one of the risk factors is when you stop innovating and depend on your success formula, because that
Ah,
success formula will, you will run out of the formula, people may get bored.
exactly.
That is one. Number two, also how evolved you are as a team, and how much new talent is coming into your team.
Okay.
So I believe the innovation and talent are the two important factors. Uh, if you don't innovate, you will be you'll pass your prime, and But as a company, I think that is what we have done over a period of time. We kept on innovating, and the experimenting with different genres, different formats, different languages has been our core of our philosophy and ideology, and we'll continue doing that. And mitigation is going to happen when you collaborate with more people, and by collaborating with more like-minded entities, and that's how we increase the bandwidth and opportunities for us.
Okay. Understood. Yes, ji, just one small final question. See, because this is also very important when we understand the promoter. As a promoter, what are your key areas? Like, do you look at talent? Do you look at the creative side of the business? And what are the other verticals which possibly other professional people look after? So at least from your side, what are the key business areas which you look in the company, so that we can understand your profile in a much better manner.
So, my wife Mamta hates the content and the creative part of the business. I look at the strategy, the vision, and the execution part of it. But
Okay.
because I have been a creative person myself, and created so much of content myself, and with exposure, because I have been also jury member of Indian International Emmy Awards for last 10-12 years, traveling and meeting international clients, and understanding what is going on, what is going to be the trend going forward, what is going to be the need going forward. Uh, that is I generally, if I have to say that what kind of involvement I have, strategy, vision, picking up right ideas, and working with the research team,
Ah,
evaluating the findings, interpreting the findings,
okay.
also understanding the viewers. Nowadays, we are in the world of social media, where what the audience wants, they speak, and you
Yeah,
can hear it. But
exactly.
that I get involved in that level. But yeah, we have a great team. We have a very intense team, a great mixture of experienced people as well as new people. As we are talking, we generally we believe that 20% of our workforce should be the new talent. They are going to get the first breaks with us, and that is
Okay.
also a way of giving it back to the industry.
No, I think very nicely articulated again, Yasji, and thank you very much for your valuable time. I think please accept my best wishes to you, your entire management team, and best wishes for future performance also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Avinashi. Thanks a lot for having me here. Thank you. Really appreciate it.